Welcome back to Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jaxson, and we are diving in, as always, my friends, here, talking some football, talking some Steelers football, talking NFL draft, and continually, hopefully, not talking about some of the stale topics that have been ongoing, but we'll talk about them if everybody wants to, but it is a Friday, so make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat as always, and we will get to them as soon as possible. What is up, Miss Pete in the building? Wave that terrible towel. What's up, Jamal and Daniel Berry Sports Highlights in there early. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button, sending us out into the YouTube algorithm. Super chats are always open, and don't forget to become a Mic Drop Mafia member. 99 cents a month. Always will be 99 cents a month. And we are going to roll. Guys, we're going to start hitting some of this draft stuff hard and heavy. The Pittsburgh Steelers continue on the theme of preparing for the possibility of different roads needing to be traveled here as they approach the draft, on filling out that quarterback room. Jaxson Dart being brought in for a pre-draft visit. Tyler Shuck was another one. They've met with guys like Howard, I believe yours. They've met with several. So here we are, and you're looking at some of these rookies and potentially some of the realistic options that could be there at 21 and beyond. And I mean, pick 21 and beyond for anybody that was wondering there what I was saying, 21 and beyond. But at pick 21 and beyond into the draft, some of these arms could be there. Some of these talented guys still could be on the board when the Steelers select. So we're going to dive into a lot of that. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Za? What's up, JD? Good to see you guys. You're good, man. You're good, Za. Good to see you guys. Oh, Daniel, have fun at work, buddy, man. Stay safe out there. What's up, Troy? Good to see you guys, man. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Continue to send us out there. We're just getting cranking here on Steel City Live, only here on Mike Drop Sports. But let's start off with that Jaxson Dart stuff, man. Jaxson Dart being brought into the building. What does he possess for the Steelers? If you're a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know a lot of people, when it comes to the draft, you're hearing all these names. You're hearing all these names spat out from everybody, man. They're letting them fly. You know, you're hearing all these names. You know, you may necessarily not know all you want to know about them, but you'll go out there and you'll watch some of the highlights. But you maybe need to dig a little bit deeper on what you're looking for if you're the Steelers, and what each one of these quarterbacks could possibly bring you as a young talent. What do they do best? And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit with Jaxson Dart. Also, another guy that I truly love in Tyler Shuck. And we're going to talk about some of the things that they do well that would fit this Steelers offense in a big, big way. What's up from Ukraine? That's awesome. What's up, Kyril VD? What's up, man? Beer Mall's in the house. What's up, Beer Malls? Hey, gotta get that Pall Mall menthol in the other. You got it, baby. I think Jaxson Dart is the stud of the draft. My money is on him going in the top 10, and he could. And what does Jaxson Dart provide, guys? When he comes into that visit, what does Jaxson Dart provide that would really fit a Pittsburgh Steelers scheme? And what, if you're Arthur Smith and you're Mike Tomlin, what would you be looking for if you were wanting to take one of these young guys? And I believe Jaxson Dart checks a lot of those boxes, guys. He's a smooth operator, man. A real rhythm type guy inside and outside of the pocket, but he's very smooth. And that is something that is really pivotal at the NFL level. And when you hear happy feet, that's what they're talking about. A guy that's not smooth, that's real choppy inside of the pocket and outside of the pocket. And you can be outside of the pocket choppy, taking little choppy steps all over the place, being very uncomfortable, not being very fluid in your motion, and allowing things to just flow. And that's that comfortability factor that you're looking for. And Jaxson Dart, I believe his Ole Miss tape, when I watched that Ole Miss tape, It shows me a guy that's comfortable and a guy that's comfortable in all situations. That's something that I think that is very, very important if you're going into the 2025 season with a rookie. You want a guy that is very rhythmic in what he does, a guy that can keep an offense on schedule, in pace. And that's exactly, I think, what Jaxson Dart can provide you. A guy that can hit with his very quick release. That's another thing that could really help the Steelers' offensive line that is very young, that they're trying to get molded together, trying to get that line as a unit to become one cohesive group. But how do you get that line to be a cohesive group? It takes a little help from the quarterback spot, from the run game, from the coaching staff, from the schematics, keeping, again, rhythm and pace. And that is something that can really, really help your offensive line. And you look at Jaxson Dart, he has a very quick release. What could that do for that Steelers offense and that young offensive line? Keep them in a very structured, rhythmic type situation to where they're on pace all the time. They're getting the ball out quick, allowing that offensive line to start to develop and picking and choosing and taking their shots when need be. When you have two big quality targets in Pickens and Metcalf, you're going to be able to stack that outside edge, make defenses respect you on the outside, but yet still be able to pick you apart on the inside with a guy like Dart that has quick release. And I think Mason Rudolph can provide some of these same things. So we're not going to exclude Mason from it, but what are they looking for in the draft? And like I said, with that quick release, it's going to help that offense all around because the defenses are going to have to respect that quick release. They're going to have to respect the ability of Dart getting in rhythm, getting in pace, and keeping them guessing on what they're going to do. That's going to help that run game. I just think it's very, very important, guys, what a young guy like Dart could do in a system like Smith, I think, really wants to run. Utilizing the tight ends, staying in rhythm, very structured type system, not a system to where there's a lot of freelancing. And that's why I think there could be great, great value in a guy like Dart going to Pittsburgh. And when these young guys get drafted, here's another thing that you got to add in there. We can talk about everything that they do really, really well, but they got to go to the right situation, guys. And when I look at Jaxson Dart, I say to myself, he fits the Pittsburgh Steelers system on what I believe Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith are trying to accomplish. They're trying to create an offense that is an opportunistic offense that takes its chances here and there, but is very structured, very paced-oriented. And that is something that the Steelers want to do. They want to limit the chances for mistakes. They want to control the football, the time of possession. They want to be able to run the football well, but if you can't throw the football well, you're not going to be able to run it well either. You have to have that balance. You have to be able to keep a defense guessing. And quick releases, things of that nature, being smooth, being rhythmic. I think that all helps that. So that's just something of a little bit of an evaluation on what I'm looking at when I'm looking at these guys and I'm looking at their college tapes. I'm looking for those things. Are you a guy that's, out of whack? Are you a wacky guy, man? Or are you not a smooth guy inside and outside the pocket? And Dart does that. He can get out of the pocket if need be and take off. And he's not going to be all sloppy about it. It's just not going to look weird. It's going to look just like it's supposed to. It's going to flow. And that's what you want from your guy, from any guy you bring in there. You want a guy that it looks natural and it's flowing and it's just, it looks right. And that's the weird thing. You want a guy that just doesn't go out there and just slings it everywhere, throws it everywhere. It's just all crazy and all sporadic and all twitchy. You don't want that twitchy type guy. You don't want that. You want a guy that is steady, that is the same no matter what. If he gets flushed out of his pocket, he's going to just stay steady. He's going to keep his eyes down the field. If he doesn't see anybody, he'll tuck it and run. If he does see a little bit of trouble to where maybe it might possibly be a bad idea to tuck it and run, they're going to remain calm enough. They're going to be steady enough to just toss it out of bounds, same pace, even kill all the time. That's what you're looking for. And Jaxson Dart does do that, guys. And I took a little bit of notes when I was watching his tapes and tape of his Ole Miss performances last year. And that's what I got, man. That's what I got for him, was just that quick release, very rhythmic, very comfortable and smooth. And that's the major takeaway I took away from Jaxson Dart's tape. So we'll continue to talk about him a little bit more if that's what you guys want to talk about. Let me dive back into the chat a little bit. Mark Collins, hey Jason, did you see the Steelers have private meeting and workout with Nick? Yeah, I thought of you. I thought you said that the other day. Yeah, I thought you said that, Mark. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I'm down for any of those players that are very versatile and stuff, man. I'm never going to be opposed to that. Does Dart remind you of a young Big Ben? No. I mean, not really. Ben was different, guys. Ben was special. Ben had immense strength and immense size for the quarterback position. Ben was like a tight end at the quarterback position in his younger days. Big body, very strong. But Ben did something that a lot of people overlook that he did really, really well, and that was keep his eyes down the field and keep the play going. And that was something the offensive line had to get used to a little bit, but they did. But that's Ben had an immense talent at that, guys. Oh, shit. Almost spilled my coffee everywhere. I had a Starbucks cup. I was trying to make sure it was like they double cup me. So I was going to take it out, but we won't do that. I don't know if he reminds me of a Big Ben. I think Big Ben was very eccentric in what he did back in the day. So I think Dart is similar in some instances to where, you could compare the two, but I think they're two different players, but both very, very good. And the idea behind them could be pretty similar in what you're saying in terms of what the Steelers would want from Jaxson Dart. And that's a guy that could keep the play alive. You have two big body receivers that could get downfield. You have Calvin Austin with tremendous speed, Roman Wilson hopefully with tremendous speed and ability to get open. You have a lot of talent in the tight end room, guys that are going to be big body guys like a Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth, guys that can get down and sit down inside of the middle of a defense, find the holes. So you want a guy that can keep the play alive a little bit. And Dart can do those things, but yet he can still be very, very good inside of the pocket and also very good in the way he keeps that offense even keeled and in rhythm and on pace, man. What's up, Kodak? What up, Jay? How we doing today? I love how you guys don't down the players on your team, though, in your quarterback room. People act like Mason Rudolph is some scrub who never played in the NFL game before. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, Kodak. There's no need to totally downgrade everybody. When you become a Pittsburgh Steeler, you instantly need the support of the fan base. And I know a lot of people, some fans they'll ride players right away. And it's like, if they're on your squad, man, you got to try to find the good in them. You got to try to find ways to pump that up, pump that player up. Why? Because they hear this shit, man. And you don't want to totally just kill the vibe, with these guys before they ever even take the field. So you got to try to find that good. You got to try to talk it up. You got to try to speak it into existence almost. So definitely it's something I think the Steeler fans do well at times. But, man, Steeler fans can go off the fucking rails, man, at times too. Thank you, man. Thank you. I can't pronounce your name on there. Mleccha. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys, double tap that screen. Send us out into that YouTube algorithm. Super chats are always open. Also, Mic Drop Mafia memberships, 99 cents a month. Always be 99 cents a month. I wanted to congratulate everybody and say thank you here early in the video. Even if people aren't watching it live, they can watch it later. I wanted to say thank you. April was a awesome month for us at Mic Drop Sports. We gained lots of subscribers. Had great super chats. Memberships are almost up to 100. We're getting there. So I want to thank you guys so very much, and I appreciate your hard work in April and what you guys did for Mike Drop Sports. Devin Burkhead, I truly hope the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers get someone like Jaxson Dart. The charades with Rodgers is ridiculous. Maybe he's waiting until after the draft like Kirko Chains is doing. Well, I get what you're saying, Devin, and Kirk Cousins, really, it doesn't matter. He has no say in it. He's under contract. He's got to be traded. You know what I mean? So he's not waiting until anything. I think what Rodgers is doing, guys, is really, really clear. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a consolation prize, which I think will be the team he goes to for sure. But I think what Aaron Rodgers is doing is still trying to hold out a little bit of hope for that Minnesota Vikings team. That team is absolutely loaded, guys. They have a great defense. They have a very good offense, and they have a very offensive-minded head coach. And I don't blame the guy for holding out hope for that, because there is still a glimmer of hope for him that he could potentially be offered something with the Minnesota Vikings. So I think that door being slammed shut will be the real determining factor. But I think what Aaron Rodgers is trying to do right now is trying to show that he does have some sort of interest in the Pittsburgh Steelers without actually signing, to kind of try to force the hand of the Vikings and say, hey, man, if we don't get something moving, maybe I'm just going to go here and get the damn thing done. You might really want to try to get me going here and get me on the team. Maybe that's his philosophy. And I think Florio had a report that he had talked to some sort of NFL executive at a higher level NFL executive, and that they made that comment also, that he was kind of using the Steelers as that last resort if the Vikings thing didn't work out, that he was kind of holding out hope. Whether that to be true, I don't know. Nobody really knows, guys. I still believe, and I'm still very confident that he becomes a Pittsburgh Steeler. But again, and I know people saying like the Kirk Cousins thing could be potentially the path that the Steelers would pursue if the Rodgers thing totally falls through. I'm not saying never, because you never say never in the NFL. Anything's possible. But, guys, we're going to be realists here. And if Aaron Rodgers isn't a Pittsburgh Steeler, it's Mason Rudolph to start the 2025 season, and they will draft a young guy that will be in the wings waiting for an opportunity, guys. And even if Aaron Rodgers is on this football team in 2025, I still look for Mason Rudolph to start several games. Definitely. I think Mason Rudolph will be a major part of the 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers. Definitely, without a doubt. There will be a lot that Mason Rudolph brings to the table and contributes. And he is definitely not a scrub. He is definitely not a guy that should be dismissed, man. Let's keep going here. I'm not saying Mason is the future or whatever, but he's played football before. Yeah, I agree, Kodak. And Mason may not be the future. Mason may not be the future anywhere. He may just end up being that journeyman guy that travels around the league, eventually, and makes all the stops, but makes a tremendous amount of money doing so, Not bad part-time job at all. So definitely... hopefully Mason Rudolph gets a real shining chance somewhere. I think the guy deserves it. So we'll see what happens. Too Evil, Too Hope with the super chat coming in. Tomlin hasn't been properly compensated. Yeah, they should offer him partial ownership, Too Evil, Too Hope at this point, because he runs the freaking show there. He pulls all the strings, I got a nasty gram from saying some of that stuff the other day that he pulled off. I got a nasty email. I won't share it, but man. Jeez, lighten up, folks. Lighten up. All right, let's keep going. Mark Collins. They said the Steelers has a private meeting and workout with a receiver from TCU, 6'3", 220, 4.48. His last name's Johnson. Hey, man, they're going to have a lot, Mark. A lot of these meetings, they're going to have a ton of them, man, and they've already had a ton of them. They're going to have a shit ton. And what you could take out of them, Mark, is looking at the position groups that they're looking at. That might give you a lot of insight onto where they're leaning. You know what I mean? So it's definitely valuable stuff, man. Definitely. Now, I don't pay attention to every interview they do. I don't. I try to look and see if I hear some of the bigger names. But I try to, like, right before the draft, I start to look through here about a week or two out. I'll take all the list of all the people that they've met with and kind of read through them and skim through them and see if there's anything of interest, any type of trends in terms of position groupings, things of that nature. That's kind of what I look at for that. What's up, Big Dave Elliott? Beer Malls, I'm not sure what position the Lurs the Steelers will take in the late first round. I don't think they know yet either. Here's the facts, guys, about the draft. And they probably don't know because there's several options available. And this is a tangled web, man. A journey that has twists and turns the whole time. And any team out there, they can have their heart set on somebody. But, with the way the draft board starts to work out, that all could change rather quickly, That all could start to take a tangled turn, man. And plans change. Plans change real quick. So definitely, it's hard to tell. What's up, Black and Gold? Robert Road. I still think Will Howard is most likely quarterback the Steelers draft in the 3rd or 4th round. I got a good laugh when I saw that Jerry Jones traded a 5th round pick for Joe Milton. Me too, Robert. Howard definitely is a guy that could be drafted by the Steelers, guys. He's probably ranked 6th, 7th. I would say anywhere from 5th to 7th on most people's big boards in terms of quarterback rankings. He's got a lot of arm talent. We'll say that, He's another rhythm guy, which might help for the Steelers, no doubt about that. He seems to be very comfortable. So that's all good things, and Howard could potentially be there, like when Robert said, 3rd, 4th round. A lot of people have Jalen Milroe ranked above him. Jalen Milroe seems to be rising up because of his athletic ability. He's probably the most athletically gifted quarterback in this draft, but still, in my eyes, a disaster in other areas that are very important, guys. And I continue to tell you, quarterbacks don't win games with their athletic ability. I'm sorry. You don't win championships with your athletic ability. You win championships with it above here and your arm. That's what you win championships with. So you cut a quarterback off here at the chest, that's what they win the championships with. Those things. Athletic guys can win you some games, keep you very competitive, and the athleticism is very, very important to have at times. But what is the most important things for these quarterbacks, guys, is up here and that arm. And when I talk about up here, it's not necessarily, you're calling them a dummy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not calling them a dummy. That's not what I'm saying. When I talk about up here, yes, every quarterback, I think, in the NFL level should be studying. They should know all the ins and outs about it. No doubt about it. And I think they do. And I think all these guys do, whether you're athletic or not. What I'm talking about when I say up here is what we were talking about with Jaxson Dart. Are you smooth? Are you comfortable? Can you remain calm? Can you stay cool? Can you keep the offense in a good pace? Can you stay level-headed? Can you stay in rhythm? That's what I'm talking about up here. It's a given that you got to know coverages. You got to know the defenses. You got to be able to tell when a middle linebacker's making checks and checking in and out of coverages and things of that nature. You got to be able to know and recognize, that corner's jamming over here. Now that's going to be able to create some opportunity in the middle probably. Over here with this middle linebacker, we might get a favorable matchup over here because that guy's tied up, one of the corners. Maybe they're playing man. You're recognizing all these different things. There's so many things just boom, 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 popping off. So yeah, you got to recognize those things. You got to be able to understand tape and look at tendencies and things of that nature. But what I don't like about Joe Milton is I think he relies far too much on his athleticism. I think the pass game has to be of more importance for him, but I think that can come. He could possibly have that happen. But I think he's more of a project in terms of the pass game. It's not that I hate Joe Milton and I think he's just going to be worthless. Because I don't know that. None of us know that. But what I'm saying is, I think there are many other guys inside of this draft that can come out and be more able to contribute to your championship causes far earlier in their career, and not just be a regular season darling because they can run real fast. That's facts. Let's keep going, man. Mark Collins, I think the two quarterbacks that have a lot of Big Ben is Will Howard and Shuck. Yeah, Shuck does too. Shuck's a system guy, man, and we're going to go over Shuck too. Black and gold, yeah, Ben had a hell of a pump fake that would make the defense jump back on. Yes, that was awesome too. I left that out, black and gold. He did, man, and that was why. He has that big-ass hand, that big-ass body, that long arm. When he pumped that son of a bitch, you didn't know whether he's throwing it or not. You didn't know if he was firing that pigskin or not, man. What's up, Roberta Campbell? I don't know if you were watching today. I seen that the Steelers are beginning to get fed up with the drama since the Big Ben call-out. I don't know how anybody knows that, Za. I don't know how anybody could say, like, as a reporter, the Steelers are fed up with the drama, when just a day ago, all the news and all the podcasts were talking about how Mike Tomlin and Art Rooney, they're going to wait. They won't wait forever, but, they'll wait for Aaron. They're comfortable. So I don't buy into all this, because every day it changes. It changes like I change my underwear. One day the Steelers are fed up. One day they're not. One day they're fine with it. One day they're not. One day they want to go young. One day they're not. I think, again, and like I've told you all, and I think is the most truthful answer that anybody can give you out here on the internet that talks about the Steelers in particular, is that the Steelers have had a plan. The plan doesn't change. Aaron Rodgers is a bonus. Anything else, the plan just remains the same. Drafting young guys until you hit. Mason Rudolph is a guy that is very capable, that can guide this offense, and you're going to take some swings at young guys. And in the meantime, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come, look for him to pick up one of these older guys, a Carson Wentz, a Flacco, somebody that's a veteran that they can be comfortable with to have in that room in case of emergency. That's what will happen, guys. And you can say that it might not, or say Jason's wrong. They'll go and trade for Cousins, or they'll go and trade for this guy, or they'll do this big move. It won't happen, guys. It won't happen. And I want to talk about this also. But before I do, I want you guys to smash that like button, send us out into the algorithm. Also, share the show, my friends. It is very important. It's absolutely free. Super chats are always open. Also, get yourself a mic drop Mafia membership, 99 cents a month. Get yourself involved in cool drawings. Booyah. So make sure you do that. But what was I going to talk about? I had something I really wanted to talk about. Oh, shit. Oh, the compensatory picks and everything that we've all raved about and what that's going to do for the Steelers. Everybody says, yep, we're going to get all these compensatory picks. We're going to package them up, and we're going to move up in 2026 to get our guy. Guys, the compensatory picks ain't getting you there. Just to let you know. What the compensatory picks will allow you to do is to utilize high value draft capital that you have in place in 2026. It'll allow you to trade some of that off, some of your higher value stuff. Like, just say, for instance, the Steelers finish in the same place. They have the 21st overall pick. So they pick swap with somebody, then they give some of their other high value stuff away. And then they use those compensatory picks that they get to still be able to fill out a draft class of their own and still be able to make the move. It's not the compensatory picks that are going to have all the value in terms of being able to allow the Steelers to move up. They're not going to trade those picks particularly. It's going to be high value stuff that they have Then they use the compensatory picks to fill out a draft class and don't go into the offseason un-Steeler-like without very many rookies coming on. The Steelers usually have a lot of guys coming out of the draft, into the building, new guys, new young blood. That's how the Steelers like to build their organization, through the draft. So that's what those compensatory picks will allow the Steelers to do. Still be able to build, still be able to fill out here through 2025 and 2026. Roberta says, I want Jalen to be the running back 1-2. He deserves it. I like how he played. His work ethic and attitude are all well. You don't hear much trouble out of him. Jalen needs to just ball security, reps, and see what the guy can do. I think he shows tremendous talent. What's up, Roast? I'm not going to read that comment. I don't know, George G. I think it will happen. Za says, I've heard the Steelers are beginning to get more comfortable with Red Nose being our guy. I think they were off the bat, Za. When they had the ability and the chance to bring in Mason, I thought that it was just still that high confidence that they had in him the last time that he was there when he came in. But they weren't willing to offer him any real contract. They didn't even offer him at all. They let him go explore. He went and got his opportunity elsewhere. And I think what Mason was really pushing for from the Steelers was a real opportunity to be a starter. And that didn't happen, but the season transpired the way it did in 2024, and it just seemed that the roads and life aligned again and gave the opportunity to come back to the Steelers. And I think Mason understands what he's getting into, and that's just maybe a chance to compete, maybe a chance to be the backup, and he's just going to go from there. Beer Malls, yeah, that will be the scenario if Rodgers doesn't sign. You guys should buy member. It's worth it. Mads G230. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you. Daniel Warman, my Bengals are threatening to leave town. I may just be a Steelers fan. They're threatening to leave town. Who would want them, Daniel? Oh, I saw something very interesting, Daniel, and this might be something for you. I know you're at work, man. Hey, Russ, I see you in the chat, man. I emailed you. I want you to call me so we can fix your thing and get you logged back onto your account, man. We got to get you on the phone and get you logged back in. I emailed you, so email me back, man, and we'll figure out a time to get on the phone, and I'll get that put back on for you. But I saw a video of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins after they got their money, man, running their Lambos around and driving really reckless out there on the mean streets, on highways, being very just dumb. They must not have learned anything from Rice and those guys. They're out there being fools. So, yeah, crazy video, guys. Find it on YouTube. Maybe I'll put a link up of it. Mr. Tactical, who do you think the Commanders should take at pick 29? I'm thinking Luther Burden if he's still there, or James Pierce. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the Commanders roster in depth enough to know where their holes are. I knew Jaden Daniels was the best quarterback out of that draft. The Commanders hit a home run with that pick. Definitely the best quarterback out of that draft. Caleb Williams sucks, and he proved it several times, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm just not a big Caleb Williams fan, and I have many reasons why. But that's neither here nor there. I really don't want to deal with that tonight. But Jaden Daniels is a tremendous talent, and I think the thing of most importance is, one, protection for Jaden Daniels, keeping him off the turf, keeping him upright, and two, giving him weapons to be able to showcase that arm talent, showcase everything that he can do. And he is a guy that is going to be very successful and for sure lead the Commanders to many victories. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets them to a Super Bowl, man. But again, protection. And I think that has to be their main focus every year in the draft, as long as you have a franchise quarterback. As long as you have a franchise quarterback on your roster, offensive line, the trenches, they have to be of utmost focus every time you head into free agency and into the draft. You have to evaluate those positions and ensure that you have tremendous depth and that you have tremendous talent along the front, because when you invest and put so much into these quarterbacks, guys, protection is pivotal. And if you're any team that has a franchise quarterback, that can't be overlooked. You can't go out there and overspend in other areas that aren't as important as keeping your guy upright and keeping him safe. Because if you give those guys time, you keep them healthy, they can carry your football team through tremendous times, to tremendous heights, and definitely something that always has to be looked at. What's up, Mark Malone? Yeah, who knows if someone elite drops? Yeah, you never know, man. Sanders, a dart, somebody could be there, guys. You don't know how the draft board's going to unfold. Beermall said Tomlin's a fraud. I think Howard and Shuck are the two best quarterbacks in this draft. That's from Mark Malone. Kansas City, what's up? Mark Collins, look at the Ravens with Jaxson. He doesn't have that in his head. Facts. That's why he can't win a Super Bowl. Amen. And I saw an interview with Harbaugh and the ownership. His name eludes me for some reason out in my head right now. I got too many things racing through my head. But anyway, the ownership, the owner and Harbaugh, they were sitting down at the owners meeting doing an interview. And I could sense the tension between Harbaugh and the owner. Excuse me. I could sense that tension between them when a question was brought up of expectations and what they want to be able to do moving forward and how they're going to accomplish those things. And Super Bowl was spit out of their mouth, which it should be. But when I heard those words and I saw how they interacted with each other, I could see a little bit of tension, a little bit of hostility between them, that maybe the job hasn't been done the way it should be so far. And I could sense the ownership seeing a little bit of frustration from them, or from him, because Lamar Jackson hasn't been able to even play in the league's biggest game, hasn't been able to typically even get out of, the first couple rounds of the playoffs. A guy that really typically isn't doing anything great in the playoffs. He has some moments here and there, but to pay a guy $50-some million a year, you expect results. And the results you're looking for aren't MVP trophies. The results you're looking for are Lombardi trophies, guys. And I think that's where today's NFL fan misses the mark and misses the boat and really doesn't understand the game. That Lombardis are far more important than being the league's rushing leader, holding the rushing title, or being the guy that threw the most touchdown passes for the regular season, or being the MVP of the regular season. None of those things truly matter. They're just extra, guys. They're bonuses. They're fun. But the only thing that matters and why you pay these people as an owner, why you put in a $50-some million a year quarterback, the only reason that you do that is to win Lombardi trophies. And if that's not being done, then what are you doing? And you're going to get frustrated. And I believe being around Lamar Jackson, you're going to get frustrated because you see things that say to you, man, this guy could get it done. But yet in the biggest moments, on the biggest stage, he's not there. Their team don't get it done. And again, maybe Lamar puts up good numbers even in a playoff game, but the team still loses. It's the team game, guys. It's the ultimate team game. And he is the leader. He is the quarterback. Just saying. High football IQ for quarterbacks. You need to know every position. Absolutely. You got to know what everybody on that offense is doing. And that's why I think guys like a Tyler Shuck are very, very special that are coming into the league. Why? Because they are very structured quarterbacks. They are guys that need that structure. And I think guys that need that structure, knowing every little piece of the offense, helps you at the NFL level with what? Anticipation. It's not like college, guys, where you can just go back there and sling it all around. You might be able to get away with that for a little bit at the NFL level, but they figure you out. People are smart. Most of the players are very high football IQ people, and they are going to figure you out. And you might get away with it for a year or something, but typically you're going to get snubbed out, man. You're going to get showed out, and people will get you. And just running around playing backyard football isn't always going to be able to work. Sometimes it does here and there throughout the game. I think it's a good trait to have, but you got to have that high football IQ, knowing where people are going to be, relying on your anticipation, relying on your ability to check in and out of plays, relying on keeping your offense in a pace and a rhythm. Those are the things you're looking for, guys, in a quarterback. That's what you want. Quit looking for a guy that can run a fucking 4.3 40. I don't care. Great. Whoopee. I'm looking for a guy that can understand concepts, a guy that can be athletic and use it when he got to, but has that arm talent that's elite, but also has that mind on his head, that head on his shoulders, that great mind that keeps him calm, that he understands everything when he gets up to the line of scrimmage. He's not trying to run 100 things through his head and being uncomfortable with it because he's second guessing himself. You don't want that, guys. And you don't want a low football IQ guy behind center. Why? Because you don't want to limit your offense schematically. You want to be able to be extremely complex at the NFL level. You have to be. And if you're not doing yourself any favors. Let's keep going here, man. Robert says... hold on, where were we? You got to be able to let it rip in a fraction of a second when you see it. Yeah, and quick release is very important, Mark. And that's why I love Jaxson Dart. That's why I love guys like Tyler Shuck. I think they got a quick release. Really, the most ready quarterback NFL-wise is Ward, Shuck, and Howard. I don't think Cam Ward is an instant success, guys. I personally don't. I could see there being an opportunity for him to be. I definitely do. I admire his talent and his skills. I think he's going to be a little bit of a project, though. I don't think he's day one starter, in my opinion. But I could be proven wrong. So we'll see what happens there. Let's keep going. Sorry, guys. There we go. I had to unhighlight everything. It was making me crazy. Where we at? Howard was the absolute leader at both Kansas State and Ohio State. He is also 6'4" and 235 pounds. I love that guys too. 6'4", 235. I love the size, man. Big Ben had the best pump fake. He used to get the cameraman all the time. He did, man. What's up, Foots Big? Ben said McAfee is coming to his house for his podcast next week near the Big Night Out show. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Good to see them together. What's up, Sleeping Lady Vikings, Jerome? No Aaron Rodgers yet. Zach Curry, so does that mean we pick more people in free agency or go for a trade? I'm not sure what you meant by that. Yeah, I saw that with Ben and McAfee. Yep. Okay. If you notice, every players they signed have been cuts because of the cap or trade. Those players don't count against those comp picks. Yeah, and I believe that Omar Khan has been very smart, guys, with what's going on right now in terms of understanding the rules, understanding compensatory picks and things of that nature. And I know a lot of people have beat Omar Khan up this offseason for some reason, but we haven't even got to the draft. I understand free agency could have been better for sure. But I still don't think that they were not. I still think they were somewhat successful. Could they have done more? Absolutely. Everybody could always do more. But I think what Omar Khan has really understood is that picks are of high value, and getting as many picks inside of these upcoming drafts, in the 2026 draft in particular, could really help the Steelers be able to fill out a draft class with the ability to trade up if need be, with the ability to let go some of their higher value picks, some of the picks that they're going to be guaranteed that aren't compensatory picks, which will allow them to use the compensatory picks to still bring in talent, to still continue to supplement the roster and continue to build through the draft and be able to still move up. Let's keep going. Danny George in the house. Robert wrote, if the Steelers get 2 third-round comp picks, which is possible, they could trade a couple of third-round picks for a second-round pick. They could trade a couple of second-round picks and a first to move way up. Yeah, that's exactly it. Again, you're going to use some of that higher value stuff, and you're going to use those third-round comp picks, those fourth, fifth-round comp picks. That's where you're just going to pick up players. You're going to pick up the majority is how maybe I should say it, where you're going to pick up the bulk of your draft class. And you're going to use that higher value stuff to probably go get a guy maybe like on Arch Manning or something, a high value target. That'll be your guy there, and then you're going to say to yourself, we're going to try to get as many maybe weapons or whatever you can. We're just going to fill that draft class out with third, fourth, fifth round picks. Yeah, I saw that. American Militia, what's up? What's up, Sean? Miss Pittsburgh in the house, wave that terrible towel. Darkness, yeah, for the Commanders is just force feed Jaden Daniels weapons and O-line help. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When you get generational talents, man, at the quarterback position, that got to be your focus. And you can't stray from that focus. Weapons, but first and foremost, keeping that quarterback upright. All right, guys, double tap that screen, hit that like button. It's absolutely free. Super chats are always open. And don't forget to get yourself a Mic Drop Mafia membership. 99 cents a month, always will be 99 cents a month, never will change, no matter if there's 1 million subscribers or 10. It'll always be 99 cents a month. That'll never, ever change. So get yourself that Mic Drop Mafia membership. All right, Russ. Okay, buddy. Do that, bud, and we'll get on the phone. I'll get your account recovered. We'll recover it. What we're recovering, Russ, isn't your it is. It's your Google account is what we're going to recover. That will allow you to get back into the YouTube under your original account, your moderator account, and your Mafia membership. I'm going to Pittsburgh tomorrow to watch the Pirates. Awesome, Redskin fan. Enjoy yourself. Beautiful ballpark, man. Hopefully it doesn't rain. It's been just rainy here, man. Deet, sup, man? Who's your GOAT? Lamar? I wish he was. Hey, if anybody's going to win the Super Bowl, hey, I hope it's guys that are rivals that, we go to war with, we go to battle with, if you're going to win, cool. If it ain't us, why not? Go ahead, try it. Go represent the conference. I just don't think you have the quarterback to do that. You have the quarterback to be great in the regular season, and you're going to turn a lot of heads, and he's going to get a lot of MVPs, but none of that matters, man. Good to see you in the chat. Mark Collins, look at Bradshaw, Montana, Brady, Ben, Manning. Have that it factor. They just have it yeah, they do. They do have that it factor. Why? Because when you watch them play, guys, when you watch them play, the trait that I'm speaking about for quarterbacks that's so important, and that is their head game, man. Well, that didn't sound right. Whoa, rewind. That is their football IQ game, that ability to feel comfortable. And when people talk about football IQ, guys, and football intellect, what football IQ and football intellect gives you is that ability to play real smooth, real smooth. Definitely what you're looking for, man. A guy that is always looking comfortable. Let's keep going. JNS is so happy. No, I'm not. How can I be happy about a guy, Jay, that isn't even here? It doesn't affect me one way or another, man. All right, guys, make sure you're listening to Miss Pittsburgh. She's telling you to beat the shit. Hammer down on that like button for the best show. That's right here on Mic Drop Sports and Steel City Live. We're going to continue to feed you the realest shit out there. So, also, guys, I'll have a guest next week, too. I think Brian said he was going to come from Steelers Almighty. He's going to come talk draft with me, too. I think Wednesday. I wanted to tell you guys that. I think it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday. So look for that. We're going to do one of those. I meant to tell you that. I just read an email from him the other day or yesterday or maybe today or something. Ryan Stevenson, you think he's still holding out hope for? Yeah, I do. I do, Ryan. Beer Malls, tell you what I'm happy with. A quarterback on a 2-year contract. Steelers flying through them like garbage bags. Yeah, what's unheard of, Beer Malls, is totally revamping and totally flipping over your quarterback room 2 consecutive seasons. That's kind of fucking crazy. I don't think they promised him anything. I don't think they promised him anything, Beer Malls. Also, I got to quit throwing these Starbucks cups up there unless Starbucks wants to throw a sponsorship deal because I drink a lot of your products. So you might want to sponsor me because I am literally definitely not the poster child for what you would believe Starbucks drinkers to be. But man, I could bring you some biz, man. Hook me up, Starbucks. Tomlin, these players and agents are starting to see right through you. Dartmouth, is Jalen Hurts overrated? No, Jalen Hurts is a solid player, man. Anybody that wants to say Jalen Hurts is overrated, I think, hasn't watched him play. I think Jalen Hurts has shown prime examples of several things so far throughout his NFL career. He's been praised. He's been beat down. He's went through drama. He's went through the media trying to, do their normal creation of the shitstorm with the wide receivers and quarterbacks and trying to create storylines. And he was able to withstand all that and still remain level-headed. And he's a quarterback that isn't desiring stats for himself. And that is a big plus also, guys. He understands that Saquon Barkley drives that offense, and he's okay with that. But he's okay still to make those big-ass plays when need be. And I think Jalen Hurts is highly overlooked and definitely not overrated at all. Yeah, you got to have a solid O-line, definitely, Beer Malls. Dart, I don't think so. He's a top 5 quarterback. He might be drafted high, man. We'll see. You think Mason would be better to start than Rodgers? I think it's a lateral move, man. I think it's a lateral move. Definitely, Crawport. I think Mason Rudolph, probably if you start him and he starts all season, is probably going to win 10 games. You look at Aaron Rodgers, probably going to win 10, 11 games. I think it's a lateral move. I'm not sitting here and saying Mason Rudolph's better than Aaron Rodgers because I don't believe that to be true. But I'm saying I think both of them produce, in my mind, a similar outcome to the season. Another Mike Tomlin mediocre season. That's what I see coming. What's up, Edward? Mark DeMoss. Aaron Rodgers is half ringmaster, half clown, and Rooney, the two, is the biggest fan in the circus. Anyone remember when the Steelers used to be blue-collar warriors? Yeah, I think they still try to be. Armin, hi, what do you think? Which team has strengthened its roster the most so far? Oh, that's still a question, Armin, that hasn't been answered. The draft is going to be a big portion of that. I think there are teams that have definitely helped themselves, but I think without incorporating the draft and what they're able to haul in terms of picks and who and where they're able to pick these people and what they've spent on them, I think it's really hard to identify who has strengthened themselves the best so far because I don't think anybody has went through things completely enough to really gauge that just yet. I think the offseason has to be looked at as a complete whole, man. You have to look at the draft. You have to look at OTAs and mini camps. You have to look at free agency. You have to look at any trades that were brought in. I don't think you can really take a solid look at who has done the best in terms of strengthening their team throughout the offseason until you hit the summertime probably. Snowing here in Colorado today. With snow tomorrow, it will be 4 days of snow. Wow, man, we've been getting rain up in here. I saw Big Ben at Forios, he told me he's a Minos guy, but he'll stoop to Papa John's. Minos down in Pittsburgh. Wave that terrible towel from his Pittsburgh. Beer malls. They've turned it into a huge circus. Mark Collins, that's why I hope we draft Will Howard. He is very comfortable in the pocket. Sleeping lady in the house. I feel like a guy like Archie Manning already has a destination, and it's not Pittsburgh. I could be wrong. Feeling this draft is decent, and we could find a guy maybe now. Yeah, I think this draft's been slightly discounted a little bit. I still think there's some high-value targets that are going to be able to be chosen and produce at a very high level, guys. I don't think it's just Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. I don't think that to be the case. I think that the quarterback class has 5 or 6 guys that have a real potential to be great NFL quarterbacks. I don't think that there, though, is out of all of the quarterbacks, I don't think there is any slam dunks going to be a Hall of Fame guy. I don't think there is any of those in this draft. But I still think that there's 5 or 6 guys that have extremely high potential to be very, very good. I don't think Arch Manning has a team already, sleeping lady. Maybe some thoughts of where he'd like to go. But I don't foresee a Manning overlooking their college season coming up to look into the NFL. I think that they're focused on getting him really, really ready for the college season. Yeah, the Bears have done a lot, Mark, no doubt. I mean, they had no choice. They got a new coach. They got a quarterback that I still think Caleb Williams ends up being just a monumental bust, man. I have a feeling, guys, I'm going to give you a prediction right now about Caleb Williams, and it may or may not happen, but he will be benched, in my opinion, before the end of the year. That's just my opinion. I think with Ben Johnson, I think the struggles will be enough that it bothers the living shit out of him, and he's sat down before long. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just got a feeling. I'm confident about the Steelers. I think they've done stuff, but I can't give you a clear picture yet. Again, we haven't went through the whole draft, guys. Or we haven't went through the whole offseason. It's really hard to say. Look at Brock Purdy. No one gave him a chance. Yeah, look at Tom Brady. 7 Super Bowls, man. Nobody gave him a chance, did they? And there's other examples, man, of guys that, necessarily weren't, top 10 picks. Ben Roethlisberger wasn't a top 10 pick, guys. He was picked at 11. That's not a top 10 pick. He wasn't a slam dunk quarterback that everybody wanted right off the board. But yet he came in and appeared in 3 Super Bowl games, winning 2 of them. It's a pretty good record inside of the Super Bowl. Now, should he have produced a little bit more toward the end of his career? I think there was a lot of opportunity that was missed, no doubt about it. But I think that was on some Mike Tomlin shit. Broderick Smith, Ravens suck. You're right, Broderick. Ravens do suck. I thought you were from the Berg. You disappoint me, brother. You don't know. I don't know I know Minos, or Minios, rather. I don't know the F word, though. I don't even know what you're trying to say there. I know the Minios, or whatever, however you say it. I know that. I'm not from Pittsburgh. I never lived in Pittsburgh. But I do know that one. I don't know the other one. Ravens suck, so does. Maybe if you said it to me and I could hear it, because I don't know I can't even say what that word is. I have no clue. I get blocks, bro. Yeah, their city is trashy, man. Baltimore is so trashy. I hate going to the Inner Harbor and shit. It's such a dirty city, man. What's up, Chase? Jamal McCullum in the house. Chances are Arch could possibly already know where he don't want to. He might know where he don't want to go. Again, guys, I think we're going too deep there with the. I was just using it as an example. I don't know anything about that family in terms of what they got planned and things of that nature. James, they don't know how to make the big moves when needed. I think you're wrong with that, James. I think a lot of teams give you a misperception that they're doing some great things. I think a lot of teams get themselves into trouble with some of these moves. You know, we all want them as fans, and I'm no different as you guys. I like the splashy moves sometimes. But on the backside of it, I do understand that sometimes you don't want to overextend yourself and make some of these stupid deals that are done. You know, overpaying for people isn't wise. Giving away tremendous amounts of draft capital to trade for somebody isn't wise. Taking on contracts that should have never been made in the first place isn't wise. And I think the Steelers protect themselves from that a lot of the times. And I think they protect the fan base from a lot of that a lot of the times. And I think it's underappreciated by Steelers fans that, you know, just because necessarily a big move wasn't made doesn't mean that that wasn't the right decision for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think that you have to take all the variables into play. I just don't think that making moves at random just because they're splashy, sexy moves, that I don't think that that's the way you attack this thing if you're building a roster. I think you got to really, really take your time and understand what every player and every move, what the cause and effect will be, or what the effect will be after you bring that player in, and what you spend, and how that's all going to trickle down throughout your roster and throughout your franchise, not only for the immediate, but also for the long term. Let's keep going. Russ says, I'm with you, Jason, on Caleb Williams. Yeah, I just got a weird vibe about him. Us as Steeler fans need to pray Caleb doesn't end. Yeah, no shit. I feel like we've been getting all the Bears quarterbacks, Roberta, no doubt. Armand, hi, Jason, just back from the hospital. So, I hope you're all right, Armand. Hope everything's okay, man. James, it's time to try a trade, couple first, and grab a legit dude. No more of this. We will develop him. I agree. Sometimes you do need to make that move, and the Steelers have made those moves, guys. I think we all forget not long ago them giving up a first-round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick. So the Steelers are not against making any of those moves, guys. I just think that they play their cards sometimes maybe a little too close to their vest, but sometimes, they will reach out and make a move. And I think James has some definite real basis on his comment that sometimes you do need to make a big move. Maybe that's what it will take, no doubt. I just don't think they do it all the time, and I do think that that's wise. I don't think making haphazard moves all the times makes sense. Just, again, because it's a big splash move. Just because it's a big splash move doesn't mean it's going to work. Now, again, sometimes they do, and I think every once in a while you do that. And I think James does have a point that sometimes go out there and make that move. If you really want one of these guys and you're really confident in your assessment of that guy and you know that they're a slam dunk, go get them. Do whatever it takes to get them. Now, not whatever it takes, because you don't want to make a generationally bad move like the Browns did with Deshaun Watson. You don't want to do one of those types of moves, but you want to go out there and get your guy. Mini Mark Collins, he should won at least 2 more Super Bowls, but they screwed the pooch with 3 offensive line. Yeah, they definitely dropped the ball there. Trey Lance signed a 1-year contract for $6.2 million with the Chargers. Crazy. To be Justin Herbert's backup. Wow, Robert. How quickly a guy that went from a top pick, that's a prime example that Robert brings up Trey Lance, guys. When we're talking about the NFL draft and you see a guy like Trey Lance that the 49ers gave up a ton for to go up and get him, but yet look where he's at now, guys. He's on his 3rd team. Started with the 49ers, who gave up a ton. Then going to the Cowboys on a trade. Now going to the Chargers. Like, it just shows you that some of these moves that people think are going to be awesome and that they give up so much for, and they make just a big splash deal, they don't always work out, guys. Baltimore's Ghetto from Matt Burton. Yeah, no doubt. Mark Collins, look at the Cleveland Clowns. Watson. Sean says, I wonder if Roman Wilson will make a difference this year. I mean, you hope so. He's a second-year guy, no doubt about it. He just didn't get on the ship, man. and if he doesn't make a difference, if he doesn't start to get involved, you know, that might not be good for Roman, man. Not good for him at all. But I think the Steelers are still high on Roman Wilson. I think there were some outside factors there. Not only the injury, but I think other things for Roman Wilson. So, yeah, I still have high hopes for him. I think he'll be a contributor this year, and I think the addition of a guy like DK Metcalf, coupled with George Pickens and Calvin Austin, I think opens the door for guys like Roman Wilson, Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, to have really, really successful seasons. It's just hopefully, the scheme and the quarterback are in tune to getting those guys to football, man. Roberta, I honestly don't think the Steelers are not really looking towards Arch because they don't draft high enough to get high picks, which is where Arch will be. Yeah, but they may trade up in 2026. I mean, they're going to, guys, and I'll tell you this too about the draft since Roberta brought that up. They look at everybody, guys. They're looking at Cam Ward. They look at Shedeur Sanders. They look at everybody. Just because it's not like realistic for them to get them, you never know. So they do their due diligence on all these guys, man. This is a full-time thing. The scouting department isn't just working in, this time that we're talking about the draft. They're working all year long. And the day that this draft concludes in 2025, they're already probably started into 2026. I'm just telling you, it's an all-the-time evaluation. They have looked at everybody. So it's not, they're probably not looking, they probably already looked at Arch Manning, to be honest with you. They probably are going to continue to look at all these guys, especially when the draft is in your back door, at your back door, especially when you're going to have a ton of picks available at your disposal to make things work in your favor. I just think they're not going to leave any stone unturned. The Inner Harbor hasn't been decent since 88, 89 when they had Uno and the other restaurants in the mall that I used to live 15 minutes from there. Oh, the pizza place, Uno, yeah. I tried to give a homeless person a whole pizza there one time. It had one piece out of it, man. I literally ate one piece out of this pizza. And I went over to give it to this lady, and I was like, here, ma'am. She looked cold. She looked hungry. And I'm like, I was a kid. I was on a church trip, guys, just to remind you. I didn't have a ton of money to give people or anything like that, which I don't anyway. Like, if you want food or something, I'll feed you. I ain't going to let you go hungry. But I ain't handing nobody cash. I'm sorry. Like, I am not there to support your habits. No, thank you. But anyway, the lady, I was like, she looked so skinny and frail. I'm like, here, ma'am, here's a pizza. Hope you enjoy it. And she's like, I don't want that shit. Like, lost her mind on me over it. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I took the pizza. I ended up giving it to another guy that was very appreciative to eat that pizza. But some people there, man, were just like, they wanted cash because they wanted to go get their fix or their drink, So definitely crazy down there, man. Hold on, where are we at? Thanks, Beer Moms. Great show. The Wire. Be More does have good food and one of America's oldest shipping ports. Decent culture and food. They just let it go. It's just, one of those things, no doubt. Mark Collins. There hasn't been a short guy at quarterback to garner trading picks like that now. CJ Stroud, they should have went after him. Yeah, there was a lot of people with reservations about CJ Stroud. I was one of them. I thought Will Levis was going to be the best quarterback out of that draft. I was wrong on that one. Yeah, CJ Stroud definitely has ended up being the guy, or one of the guys, But yeah, they should have went after him, but that's hindsight now. I don't think anybody had as much faith in CJ in terms of being able to put immense amounts of picks into him at that time. I don't think anybody had him ranked, that high, in my opinion, to give up like many first-round picks to go get him. That's just the way I look at it, but maybe they did. Who knows? But there hasn't been a ton of guys that you would want to just give up years of first-round picks for. Oh, Russ was born in the hood of Baltimore. That's crazy. All right, guys, we've been going for like 70 minutes, man. I'm going to jump off here. But I thank you all for coming to another exciting show. We didn't talk about Shuck. I thought he was another guy. We have talked about him, so we won't go back. We won't backtrack. I wanted to talk about him and Dart because I know both of them came in for visits here, during this off season so far. But we'll get there. Thank you, Crowport. Appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat from Too Evil Too Hope. As always, my friend, thank you so much for your support. You're always doing that. I appreciate it. Also, guys, don't forget to get yourselves Mic Drop memberships. That's very important. It's 99 cents a month, and that truly helps bring in what it does, guys, is brings in a very steady form of revenue for the channel, which will eventually, once it's built up, allow, I think, for bigger and better things here on the channel. 99 cents a month, 1,000 people do 99 cents. You're looking at a decent little chunk there to contribute and put back into our work and, start down the path of making this hopefully a full-time thing for me one day. And we'll see if that ever happens, but that's the goal. So that's why I think memberships are very important. And again, it's 99 cents a month, so it's not too bad for one person for 99 cents. I feel like it's pretty cool. But thank you guys. Share, like, subscribe if you're not already. Truly appreciate you guys. Until tomorrow or Sunday, I'll get with Sean and see. We'll get one of these days here going this weekend. I got to see too with the kids just to make sure about anything they got going on, like work and shit. So I'll get with Sean and we'll figure that out. So, all right, guys, we will be back this weekend. And then next week, we will start doing immense amounts of draft stuff too. So keep an eye out, man. We're grinding until this weekend. I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports.